Oh my god, I think this thing's still live. Unbelievable. Ooh. How you guys doing? All you nobody. Oh, zero people stay here. What's up? How you guys stay doing? Alright, so uh I figure I gotta write code anyway, so I gotta be up all night slanging. But it would be fun to just have something on the side, you know? Just kinda talk to people, whatever. Okay, so that's about it. Anybody wants to hang out, they can come hang out. The music is the best of the 1990s defunct company catalog. Well, mostly defunct company. Um, yeah. Alright, let's see what we can do. Alright, so what I'm working on today is when, how do I explain them? A title keyword analysis component. Why are you struggling so hard? This easy. Okay, yeah, all I'm doing is I'm analyzing titles for keywords after normalizing the titles to try to generate a set of tags that will automatically be available for people who are submitting articles to the website. If you're here, you probably already know what the website is. It's a link aggregator, similar to other link aggregators out there, with a bit different goal in mind. Yeah, that's it. Weird. Being on a live stream is weird. I get over it. Okay, so where are we at? We at the title analyzer. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Alright, so what we're doing is we're loading a set of text files on the side here that will be parsed into a JavaScript object, and that JavaScript object will be searched. And the searching results in a set of flags that correspond to potential titles. So let me just show you. So let's go down here. Let's go here. So let's use empty equals false. So here's a potential title, and here you can see it tokenized and normalized, and you can see it found tags. So it says this is gun from Germany, and this is war. So the tags would be countries, Germany, war. Easy enough. Now, what I'm doing tonight is probably the most boring thing of all of this, which is I have to work on the text files to include keywords that are corresponding to specific things. Now, why is that difficult? Well, for this one it's easy. Germany, Ukraine, okay. Well, seems reasonable. Pretty easy. Ukraine is in war, potentially war. Country is Germany. But we have to do this for a lot of things that would be, how do I explain? Things that would be a bit like, I don't want to say esoteric because it's not esoteric. I mean, it is esoteric in the terms of, like, a lot of this stuff is relegated to a small domain of understanding, like tech stuff, chip stuff, that kind of stuff. But this is not. This is just general. So we're gonna be taking general language and attempting to analyze it in a quick way without having to rely on outside systems like LLMs or anything like that. I just want it to be fast and easy, just bing bang, and get them. Get them easy. Okay, so... Let's see. I should probably go to countries up here. Title analyzer. Oh, it's back over here. How to go to countries. So now, because I created this text file here, when the application actually runs this code up here, it'll search these files matching a regular expression ending in a .txt, and when it finds those files, it'll automatically do some path splitting in order to generate a, like I said before, JavaScript object utilizing keywords, categories, and subcategories. So just by adding those two lines in here, whenever it searches for countries, now it's automatically going to associate Ukraine with Ukrainian, or Ukrainian with Ukraine. Most of the code is already done, but I have to go through things one by one. I'm sure there's a million easier ways to do this, and I'm not doing every single thing by hand. Like for music, for example, let's see. Oh, I gotta go back to that one. Like for music, for example, let's go down here. Music. Where is music? Oh, hold on. I gotta make sure. I don't know if anybody's in the chat room. Probably not. Zero people in the chat room. Yeah, I fixed somebody in my family's. I didn't fix it. I got a laptop from somebody in my family that had some data on it, and they wanted me to get the data off. So I took it apart, and it was a pain in the butt. Like anti-consumer friendly design made taking the damn laptop apart a pain in the butt. But I got to the hard drive and I was able to mount it and get all the data off and everything like that. And they were happy about it. So as kind of like payment, because I don't take payment from family, they just decided to give me an old computer from like 2018 that they wanted to. They just didn't do anything with it. So I turned that into this streaming platform. So that's why I'm streaming now. That, and I figure if I'm doing all this development, nobody's gonna believe me. If I'm writing code all the damn time. And plus, it'd be cool to make friends, you know. I say hello to people, say what's up, maybe we hang out. Be cool to do that. And additionally, it gives me the ability to practice a part of myself that I never ever get to practice, which is, you know, direct communication with outsiders. Like I spend lots of time with my family, and I love them as much as you could possibly imagine, but I don't really communicate with people on the outside, especially not people from outside of my community. And that used to not be the case. I used to travel and live all over the place, and I miss that. So I figure without having to leave or do anything kind of crazy, I can practice skills that are unpracticed by doing this streaming thing. I have no desire whatsoever to be famous. Zero. Zippity doo dah, none. And I don't want to be whatever the hell other streamers are. I just want to talk story. Like in Hawaii, we call them talk stories. Just, hey, what's up? How you doing? How you doing, cousin? Hey, you still cruising? Yep. Oh, what's up? Oh, you still with Betty? Oh, yep. You know, that kind of thing. Uh, okay, but yeah, I can do this. I can do this every night because I gotta write code anyway, so I might as well. I can just sit here and talk story with people. Maybe we go read the news. Maybe we go check them out. Maybe we go do some video reviews, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so this one gotta be true. This is my favorite function in the world for JavaScript. I have a library of custom utilities, and every time I need a utility function, I create a new one. But this was one of the first ones because JavaScript has so many strange categories of null and undefined and truthiness. So I just wrote a function that just says, is this damn thing empty or not? And it's a surprisingly long function. But using this, I can determine whether or not values are empty or not. And then I have a notice function that's in the library as well. It prints out line numbers, so I don't have to connect debuggers. I can actually debug by print, which is... I spent many years in debuggers. And they're incredibly useful. Seeing stack traces and watch points and being able to, you know, pause and take a look at things as they are. But for the type of developing I'm doing, it's so unnecessary and it adds so much overhead. It's nice to just have a utility print function that just tells you, okay, on this line number, this thing's they dump in this information. Okay, so if the found tags are empty, true. So if they're empty, what that means is that the analysis over here, where we're basically doing a deep search on the object in order to find entries within a title or within a tokenized title. If we're not able to find any, if there are no potential tags generated, it'll dump these out. So that's why we gotta go one by one to see. Just like this one, we see, oh, Ukraine. Okay, hold on, I gotta put the mic off. I gotta sneeze. Whew, bless me. You guys never even hear a sneeze as they saying bless you. Never got out of tissue in time, I get boogers on my fingers. Yikes. We go wash on the keyboard after. Okay, so let's check them out. Oh, the development platform is Ubuntu Linux. Nothing special. Oh, let's run Node. And we're using Node 20. Node.js, for those who don't know what that is. It's a JavaScript interpreter using the V8 engine that allows us to utilize a variety of libraries in order to make our lives easier. It's kind of sad that I've become a Node developer. I used to be a C and C++ developer, but I spent many years writing C and C++, and at the end of it, I realized I was just writing an event library to help me more or less, like I didn't know what promises were, okay? So I wrote an entire library to help me achieve what I was trying to do in various projects. But I wound up writing it as an event system that used a thread pool to promisify code. So I would be passing a whole bunch of data between these threads in order to run tasks in the background so that the entire system could work asynchronously. And I kinda realized that there is a point to doing what I'm doing, but from the perspective of being a developer, I am really heaping on the overhead. I'm creating an environment which to me is useful, yes, but again, you wind up in C and C++ with double freeze where you don't want double freeze. You wind up with heap corruptions and stack corruptions, and you end up with race conditions, and all of these things are easily fixable. And well, I wouldn't say easily avoidable. Not if you a normal person. Maybe if you're a super genius, they're very avoidable. But you work, and your code runs, and it runs for a decade. Maybe not a decade. Maybe 2 weeks. Where it runs just fine for 2 weeks, and you're pretty sure everything is good. And Valgrind is telling you. Well, Valgrind is a heap profiler, by the way. It's actually a memory analyzer, debugger, and a bunch of other things. But it allows you to see when corruptions happen. And Valgrind is running, and you have it performing optimally, and everything works great. And then all of a sudden, you see somewhere in there's a heap corruption, and your program crashes. And you analyze the output, and you try to find it in your code, and you find it in your code, and that's terrific. Until 2 weeks later, when it happens again. If I could alleviate having to deal with memory corruptions, I would be a fool not to. So I looked at a lot of different languages that were event-based, that had a significant amount of engineering and monetary resources thrown behind them. You don't want to pick a language that'll drop in popularity and become obsolete. I looked at languages that had the largest developer bases. You want a language with a large developer base, because if you ever want to work on projects with people, you want accessibility to be one of the foremost components of your project, because it expands the developer pool to a larger, available talent pool. So, unfortunately, it led me to JavaScript. JavaScript is basically everything I needed. And it's funny because I used to talk a lot of trash about JavaScript developers. And to be fair, they kind of had it coming. But I kind of earned this fate through that trash talking, which is why I don't really trash talk too much anymore. Yeah. JavaScript is event driven, it's asynchronous, it's the most widely used language in the world. It does everything I want on the front end and the back end. When I write code for the back end, it's the same code for the front end. I'm able to create data validators that work both within a DOM context and a server context. It prevents duplication of efforts. It gives me access to large volumes of MIT licensed code, which is the best kind of code. I license my stuff in MIT too, don't worry, not just stealing. So yeah, so that's why I'm writing in JavaScript. It's not because it's my first language. It's because, well, I just said why. It's because I don't want to repeat myself. Okay, but we go do this thing. We go do them, boys. Come on. Okay, so if is empty is true, let's go ahead and bust them out. Oh, let's see. Boop. So Biden, so that's gonna be politics. So we gotta do up here web content, new folder, politics, no, politics. Go Sleepy Joe too. That seems to be a common nominal for this gentleman. Oh, we gotta do Trump too, oh god. Donald Trump. Not Donald Trump, but politics. I'm kind of over politics. This last 8 years has been too wild for me. Okay, human muscle. Oh, looking for help. Let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Wait a minute. I think I goofed it. Yeah, I gotta put this. Hold on, cut that. I got added in the wrong ID. Is that the trash? Okay, get rid of this one. Shiakaku of the Bay. What the hell is a Shiakaku? I have no idea. Well, let's go down to tech. I'm not gonna do this forever. I mean, these tag generators. I just want to be able to have a reasonable number that can kind of give people some tags. Okay, let's do countries. And yeah, Uzbekistan and Uzbekistan. Network security, NetSec. We don't want too broad terms. We want a reasonable term. Hey, how is this song? It's kind of wild, huh? All Nintendo games have the best jams. I mean, I would be listening to something else, but I think MIDIs would keep me safe from the old band hammer. Alright, let's see. DES safer. What is Biden? So let's go education. Employment, education. Okay, so student loans. Got help somewhere in here. Let's go overlook. I don't think we want muscle. Lipid nanoparticle. Lipid signature, so... I've heard these words before. You really talking about the dead internet theory? It's true to some degree, but like developing this site, I have a bot right now named Otto, and well, not a bot, it's a collector named Otto that collects links from a variety of places, and it's useful for generating site content. Like I'm filling up the website with stuff so it doesn't feel so empty. Ideally, in the future, it'll all be done by people, as in they'll be communicating with each other and posting their own links. But yeah, this thing it collects a significant amount, and I have to be able to not just do title analysis. I have to be able to do site analysis. So I need to be able to correlate these titles with the site they appear on to generate the tags. That's part of this. That's the other part. I was working on that a couple days ago. You guys know. You guys wasn't here. Obviously, it's my first stream ever in my entire life. So, that's my stream virginity. Oh God. I wonder if that'll hit the keywords. Man loses stream virginity. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, but there's just so many sites. For people that don't understand what the dead internet theory is, it's almost all web traffic goes to a certain number of hosts. For example, I'm streaming on YouTube. That's a big streaming platform, and it's a video platform, and almost everybody goes there. If you ask your grandma if she knows what YouTube is, she'll probably say yes. The dead internet theory is that the traffic is only being funneled to these sites, and they have kind of these weird quasi-incestuous relationships. Oh God, that's another keyword. Oh God, I'm doomed. They have these these relationships where they kind of funnel each other back and forth. So like one website will funnel people towards the other platform, and the other platform will funnel them back to the other platform, but in the middle there's like billions of websites with content that nobody goes to, so it's basically dead. It's dead space. Most content is found on specific sites, and the search engines are complicit in this, because again, if people are going to these particular sites, then obviously people want to see results from those particular sites. And so it's this cycle of, well, what's popular? Okay, so this is popular. Alright, that's cool. So what? Okay, so people are going to want to see more stuff from that because it's popular. And it just kind of spirals into... How would I explain it? It kind of spirals into the obsolescence of other sites that are less popular. That is selective, and it makes sense algorithmically, but it doesn't make sense from an exploratory perspective. Like, humans are explorational. Like, they want the ability to see new and interesting content. And it's become so stale. Like, the internet is so full of life, but it's hidden. It's kind of like everybody's in their cul-de-sac and they only talk to their neighbors when the world is gigantic. There are so many different people you could talk to and chat with and start businesses or start wars. Like, there's so much out there, and the internet is the same way. There's so much out there, but they're not given the ability to be explorative through these repetitive chaining sites, these places. Like, they just link to each other, so at the end of the day, what's the point? And I can't blame people for not going outside of their comfort zone, because Well, is it is it their prerogative to do that, or is it our prerogative as developers to give them access to bigger things? You can't expect every person to go mining the internet for data for places and things. No. That's kind of one of the things I'm hoping for on the iRateFun website. It's for people to be able to share information without having to worry about, like, in excess of moderation, creating another one of those. You know, I gotta have a term for it. What would be a good term? Hmm. I don't know. I'll go figure one out later. Yeah, you should help me figure out one of those. A name for it. Like, you get bitten by a large fish, you know it's a shark. You don't have to say large fish every time. Okay, so what is this? Chip industry. So, chip manufacturers, general. So, finance. Let's go with finance. Let's do supply chain. Oh, two P's. Duh. Okay, countries. Do we have organizations? Because NATO isn't really a government. North Atlantic Treaty Organization is not a government. Let's just go countries. Let's do organizations. Countries we go. Switzerland. Let's go Taiwan. I want to put Swiss here, but I don't think Swiss would be so good. Taiwanese, CSE? I think so, yeah. Taiwan to set first overseas IC training base in Prague. One second. Is it Czech Republic? Should be Czechoslovakia? I don't know. Yeah, it was Czechoslovakia. So Czechoslovakia became the Czech Republic. Sorry, still looking up Prague over here. There's probably Prague in a different country as well. I'm sure there's a number of cities named Prague, but we're gonna just go ahead and do it anyway. Okay, so we got the religions now. Okay, let's do, I guess, Islam as well. Okay, and let's do Hindu. Yeah. These are going to be a pain in the butt. I'm gonna do them on stream anyway, because the whole point of doing this is that I stream every night while I write my code. If I do that, not only will there be a record of my development, but maybe I meet some people, maybe I meet some developers. That would be super cool. It's extremely hard to find developers over here. I went looking, but I never find nothing. I'm gonna find a job over here too for that. Costa stand. Fuck up that. Yeah. Let's see. Blue Sky lifted its ban on heads of state. Okay, so let's go government. Prime Minister, President, Head of State, Heads of State, State of Mind. Hey, government, generic, Prime Minister, President, Head of State, Heads of State. What else? Alright, so courts now. Courts, jury. Yeah, these tags are going to be correlated with the site they're found on in order to kind of generate a profile which I can use to determine likely tags and even auto-generate tags for content that the content collector is collecting. So pharmacists would go under health, generic health. Yeah, with this thing I'll be happy when I can tag about 50% of everything. If I can tag 50% of all titles submitted, it'll be significant. Health. Pharmacist health. Do we do drugs? Let's go medicine. Pharmacist, pharmacy. See, doctor is hard because there's doctors of everything. There's doctors of Paleontology. Don't need doctors in here. We want more specific stuff. Let's go drug shortage. New drug. Sure. No, drug shortage would probably be the best match. New drug, talking about some weird new drug. Okay, so this is likely for a game. Bazaar, I'm guessing that's... What's that game? Old browser, oh, RuneScape, that's it. iCloud, so that would be under tech. Oh, tech terms, generic, oh, tech products. Storage. That's protocols. Online storage. iCloud. $850 Millennium Falcons. Ooh. I do not understand people who buy these things. I mean, I get it. $850 Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. I get it. When I was a kid, I liked Star Wars. But that was when I was like 5 years old. That's probably gonna make somebody salty, but I just don't see it as something I'll pay $850 for. Alright, WebAssembly and web workers. This would go into programming. Where is programming? WebAssembly. WebAssembly is interesting, but I can't find a use case for it. Like I was talking earlier about how simplification is really important. Like my transition from C++ and C to JavaScript was removing layers of responsibility. To me, WebAssembly, I mean, yeah, it has a lot of really interesting primitives, and to be able to compile into a web target is really interesting, but it doesn't suit any of my needs. If I was going to generate a project that would need to be compiled down, I would just write C. And I guess what they're saying is you write the C and then you compile it into the web target, but then you're gonna suffer performance penalties, drastic performance penalties by having in WebAssembly instead. But it's still neat. I mean, I think it's one of the coolest technologies out right now. But yeah, I don't see myself writing much of it. Maybe in the future, maybe if I have more time. Okay, PSG versus Barcelona quarterfinals. Okay, so do we have sports? Yep. Sports. Quarterfinals. Let's go maybe a sports. Oh, Steve's puts as well as the right as well. So we could put this in Spain. Go back to countries and do that. Can't do Spanish because Spanish is a language used by a large percentage of the planet. Well, maybe not large, but a reasonable percentage of the planet. So we can't use that to isolate countries. And again, Barcelona is a city in a lot of places, not just in Spain, but I feel comfortable putting it there. So let's go Denmark. People from Denmark are Danish? Are they? Or Danes, yeah. So. Let's go to tech. Tech generic. Fireball. And then source only. Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. Baltimore bridge collapse. That was pretty crazy. I saw it sped up and it was wild. That whole damn bridge just went right into the water. Experienced North Korea. No, thank you. I'll pass on that one. No, thank you. No, thank you. You guys go ahead though. You guys have fun. North Korea. My God. Oh, North Korea. North Korea. Yeah, I don't think I would ever go to North Korea. I mean, curiosity says it would be interesting to go. Sure. And it's not really a risk-reward thing. It's just it's kind of depraved. It's like going to hell to witness what it's like in hell. Like, why would you? Because I mean, you gotta leave. So the people that are there that you're seeing, that they don't get to leave. Like, you just go there, and then oh yay, look at this. This is interesting culture. Wow, that's amazing. No, they're literal prisoners. So you're just going there to basically taunt them. It's like saying, it's like what's his name? It's like Virgil from Dante's Comedy. Like you're just going down to tour hell. You're like, hey, how you guys doing? You guys great? Oh yeah, no, I'm going back up. You guys just hang out, right? You just stay here. Just, I mean, I might come back later, but probably gonna go back to America and eat some donuts. Donuts? What are donuts? Yeah, it's so morbid. Like, to pay money for that kind of experience, to me, is one of the most selfish and aggrandizing things imaginable. I can't fathom. Okay, do we have natural disasters over here? Well, North Korea is a man-made disaster, but I gotta put natural disasters. Disaster? Do I want? Yeah, I'll just put natural disasters. Generic. Earthquake. Quakes. Hurricanes. Cyclones. What else? Earthquakes, hurricane, cyclones, flooding, floods. Oh man, this sounds so familiar. I don't know what it is. This is typical RPG music. Okay, spy satellite. Now, where is government? Military spy satellite. Okay, so we did North Korea, South Korea. I can see visiting South Korea. I don't know I'd want to though. Huh. It'd be interesting to see someplace different, but is it really different though? Like I've been kind of all over. And things are different in places, but they're human places, and humans are kind of samey. Like they think they're all different, but they're not. They're disparate. I guess they're somewhat differing, but they're I don't want to say interchangeable. But if I went to Korea, there would be restaurants and there would be cars. And there would be people, and those people would work jobs, and their kids would go to school. And they would sound different and look different, but I get enough of that over here. If I go someplace, I want it to be real different. I want the water flows to, or the waterfalls to fall upward. Maybe that's why so many people go to Yellowstone. See the guys as they go up. Upside down waterfall. Alright, we go run them again though. This boss music, if I've ever heard it. Okay. Climate crisis and kitchener. Gravity, EV, infrastructure. This will be some of science. Jujitsu? Steve in Jujitsu tutorial. I have no idea. So let's put carbon dioxide on their science. Why not? Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. Both of which are flammable gases. A lot of people don't know they're flammable gases. Kind of interesting. So Dubai is in the UAE. So United Arab Emirates. I don't want to spell Emirates. I would guess, but then I just look stupid when I go to copy them. Oh, Dubai. Natural disasters. Go storm. Is storm too? Yeah, storm is too much of a generic word. Cashierless shopping. I'm building our company as a fork of another project. Future of Humanity Institute. Okay, I guess that will go under organizations. Where did I put it? So what I'll need to do is every few weeks or so I'm gonna need to kind of reiterate upon this thing to see like exactly what terms would be better suited in better places and what new things to add in new places. Okay, America's young farmers are burning out. I quit too. Man, some days I just wish I was a farmer. It would be so absolutely delightful to just go into a field and work it. Just do honest work that has an end product of people being fed. Like right now, this thing I'm working on is useful and interesting, and I like it. I think it'll be cool. Like if people use it, it'll be real interesting to me. But there is something fundamentally greater about manufacturing and kinetic science. Like in production, to me, it's a more real, tangible thing. Like if there's a bug in my code, well, I just go fix the bug. If there's a bug in the software of the farming equipment that I manufacture, well, it could lead to people, not being able to produce food, which is a large and much more drastic consequence. And for that reason alone, it's more interesting, but I didn't find my way into developing farm equipment software, so here we are. Flying aircraft characters. Yeah, consequences make things much more interesting to me. Moldova, that's a country. Cool. Moldovan. Airbnb, where would I put that on there? Would I put that under airlines? Or would I put that under tech? I think I'm gonna put that under tech. So tech products. I'll just put it under Airbnb. They have an Airbnb rental up the street, and it's strange to me. Like I have random neighbors at random times. It's funny too, seeing people just like they come here and they expect it to be what they see on television, like sandy beaches, Hawaii. Hawaii is what I'm talking about. And they wind up in the most tourist-like fashions. Yeah, I'll keep it positive. We'll keep it positive. Okay. Long story short, they come here and they just are entirely out of place. And it's funny because you can see them getting out of their cars and they have like all their beach gear and everything. And it's like, what beach did you go to? It's all rocks. There's like 3 beaches. I That's another story. I don't know if I should tell that story. It ends with somebody getting their toe stubbed because they don't understand that you don't go walking on the rocks over here unless you know what you're doing. Don't go on the rocks. What do you mean don't go on the rocks? Ah, my toe! Okay, dead ship, hundreds of cargo ships lost propulsion in U.S. waters. Oh, that's a bad thing to hear about. But U.S. waters is a good distinguishing term for United States of America. That's unlikely to be out of place. Automatically create a form with a Zod schema. Ugh. What is this? International Association for Cryptologic Research. So would this go, I guess this would go under organizations and it would go under NetSec. And we'll put this under organizations. I put everything in lowercase because I've normalized things to lowercase. That way the pattern matching is much more efficient and requires less processing. So let's IACR NetSec. If it's cryptography, why not? iACR. Be iACR prepend. Managing to-do lists on the command line with Task Warrior. No, thank you. That I really don't want to do that ever. Okay, async API. Let's look. That would go under programming. Let's see, programming. Asynchronous application programming interface. Bumblebees. I swear I have this in animals. Should be under wildlife, I think. Oh, I got bumblebee, not bumblebees. I was thinking about algorithmically appending common suffixes to these words, but it's just a magnitude thing. It becomes exponential, the amount of work that you need to do, rather than just defining these things explicitly. Like if I just added ES or S to every word, it would just be ridiculous. Noise canceling headphones. The quiet danger of noise canceling headphones. That seems like hyperbole. Hundreds evicted months before squatters evicted us. Is that good or is that bad? I have no idea. Life hard. Life is hard for people. You end up with squatters and they get hard life, but then you'll only be bleeding heart and get the hell out of my property. But then I feel guilty about it, and it's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You say, leave them there, people get angry. You say, get them out, people get angry. You say, leave them there, people get happy. You say, get them out, people happy. And dealing with the emotional, it's a dichotomy of the human species. I'm not gonna put my 2 cents in on that one. That's something that I think is important. It's okay to not have opinions on things. It's okay to not dive off every single diving board. If you do, you wind up having to contradict yourself constantly. I mean, especially if you're a thinking person, because, like, I'll think about it, I'll say, okay, well, why are these people in the squad? Okay, well, wait, what am I doing? Sports. QRS. Yeah, you as a thinking person are going to think about why are those squatters there, and it's like, okay, well, some of them are just in a real bad spot. Okay, have you been in a bad spot? Yeah, I've been in a bad spot multiple times. Life is difficult, life hard, as they say. But also, when you were in a hard time, did you find people who were in similar situations that really were riding that? Like they were intentionally being good for nothing? Yeah. But did you also meet people who were just savaged by the world, put into a bad position? Yeah. So in that squad, are there all of those types of people? Yeah. So, where does the heart and where does the mind come together on this? Because intellectually, you get the Ben Shapiro that says, well, get them the hell out. It's not their property. And logically, that makes perfect sense. Get them the hell out. It's not their property. They have no business doing there or being there. But if you have a heart, you also know, well, these are human beings you're talking about. We're not talking about, moving lumber. We're not removing logs from a building. Like, these are beings that will suffer. And they're not just any beings, they're beings like me. And if I was in that situation, what would it feel like? But who gives a crap? Because it's the Olympics. So, if I was to dive off the diving board and I was to say, oh yeah, get them all out. Yep, that's how I feel today. Yep, just get them all out. Well, tomorrow I might wake up and think, man, that was harsh. I should apologize for that. I should say I'm very sorry. Very sorry, and I wish that I could have done something to prevent it. So now you try to crawl back up on a diving board, and it's all because you weren't capable of just saying, look, I don't know, this is a tough one. And it's because people don't like the paralysis of indecision. The paralysis of indecision is a very difficult thing for people to deal with. That maybe the best move is to stay out of it. Because they want to do something. They always want to do something. But from my experience, like, intemperate people who are just willing to jump the gun immediately, they lead humanity into this actionable stupidity. Their intention on creating immediate action leads to just absolute disaster. But at the end of the day, usually effective disaster. Like, if you just don't think about your heart, you say, get rid of the homeless people, okay, well, the problem's solved. You got no more homeless people in that building. I mean, you can't kill them, so they're still somewhere, but at that building, the problem is solved. It's so weird to me. But the problem still exists. You didn't really do anything to solve it. You just relocated the problem and told everybody you did a good job. Yeah. But then again, the people aren't there anymore, so, it's weird. Kit Hack Model Club. I'm guessing that's model cars or something. New Zealand, that's a company. Or that's a country. It's a company, that's a country. Okay, let's see. New Zealand. A New Zealander. Okay, like half of these words are science and bacterium. I'm going to put under health and science. Let's do science, 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 science. Bacterial, bacteria. Let's go flagellum. Haven't used that word in a long time. Let's do cryoem. Haven't used that word ever. Cryo-EM. Structures reveal how bacterial flagellum rotates and switches direction. Cryo-EM, I don't know. Is that a product or is that a medical term? I'm guessing that's a product. We'll leave it there anyway. It's a scientific product. Feedback loop, singularity, and ethics. Singularity would be a science term, but I don't know, it's too broad. Brand strategy, observable system. No. So we'll do medicines and we'll do EU. Organizations. The EU is wild to me. It's like a federal government for Europe. If you asked me when I was a kid if I would ever live in a world where Europe was federated, wouldn't have believed you. Okay, so we'll just go with medicines. Put it on health. Medicines, medicine. smind.app. Smind sounds like an explosive. I probably wouldn't name my app that, but whatever. Okay, low Earth orbit. That would be under space and astronomy. I think I have one for space and a triad. Earth orbit as well. How to accidentally avoid sharing proprietary information of a former employee or employer? That's a difficult question. Put hackathon under programming. Yeah, the amount of documentation you have to sign as an employee, kinda wild. Nowadays, everything requires you to sign over your firstborn child in order to simply utilize a product, let alone employment where there are actual stakes. I hope to never be an employer like that. Like if I if I wind up employing people, I would like to be a good boss. I don't want to be a jerk. And I get it, it's to protect the company. Like you have to do this and the lawyers will come out of the woodwork and they'll say, well, you know, because of the environment that we currently occupy legally, these things are absolutely required. And it seems so inhuman Like, it's hard to believe that lawyers are human, and I'm pretty sure that's not an uncommon thought. Sorry to all the lawyers out there. Uh, it's such a weird field because it's nothing but semantics. It's, well, did you use this term? Okay, we'll use this term. So that term is verboten. And because you use that term, it automatically wrestles you into this legal position. And in this legal position, you are now prone. Like, prone to what? Prone to consequences. It's like, well, why? Why are we living like this? Like, why are we in a legal predicament? And then you ask that question, and then the answer is legislators. Well, you see, we elect these people in order to make laws. Well, okay, did they ever stop making laws? No. Well, what? Okay, so how long they been making laws? A couple hundred years. Okay, and is it slowing down? No, it's just getting faster and faster. We're making more and more laws. Okay, so what's not illegal? I don't know. You have to have a law degree in order to know the answer to that question. Okay, well, you have a law degree? So, okay, that's cool. So can you tell me? Nah, that'll be $200 an hour. $200 an hour? That sounds affordable. Yeah, I know. I'm a discount lawyer. It's really $800 an hour for the good one. Oh, where did you get your law degree? A washing machine. You got your law degree from a washing machine? Hey, look, it's an accredited washing machine. This whole legal predicament just seems self-serving. It seems like it's designed to create itself. And in creating itself, it's designed to sustain itself. And to sustain itself, it's willing to bleed everybody dry. I'm not speaking as somebody who's had difficulties with lawyers or legality. This is just plain analytical thinking. Okay, let's go to wildlife. Let's go cicada. I don't have cicada. Let's do cicadas. Okay. Yeah, I'll never be able to understand how we get ourselves into these weird organizational situations. And I say that as not like I don't understand, like I understand the need, but I don't understand how we allow what is necessary to metastasize into cancer, basically. I rarely ever hear that word used in any other term but cancer, metastasized. It's always a reference to cancer, which is horrible. Oh, llama. I'm guessing this is something about LLMs. I don't know. Yeah, it's a little bit depressing to think about things like that. But it's more important to exist despite it. Like, whenever I think about stuff like that, I just think, oh well, there used to be dinosaurs. Could you imagine 10,000 years ago, there weren't dinosaurs 10,000 years ago, but can you imagine 10,000 years ago, and there were super predators on the continent of Australia? I'm guessing, maybe it's 50,000 years, I don't know, 10,000 years, 50,000 years, whatever. And there are super predators, and you're one of the first aboriginals to land on the island, and you just go walking around, and you're like, oh, that's a Gila monster. Oh, but it's 20 feet long. Oh, it's a land croc. It can run on land. Ah, this is gonna be fun. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's like, okay, so we got out of control government. Well, it's nothing humanity hasn't dealt with in the past. We've had to run from crocodiles. Could you imagine that? Get there and there's a 30-foot land crocodile you gotta contest with. You don't even know what a crocodile is. It might as well be a dragon. So if we could get through, that, if we could, as human beings, survive things like that and still be optimistic about the future, then there's no excuse for me to ever be in a negative spot emotionally. It's much more reasonable. What is this? SWT satellite helps gauge. Okay, let's just do satellites. Put that in space. Space and. Oh my god, this is so boring. Yeah, but if you can stay positive, even though things are in a cycle of Sisyphean, metastasis, or metastasis. Use that word again, why not? If you can stay happy despite that, then you can just be happy. A lot of people focus too much on the negative. And you know what? I was definitely one of those people for a long time. It took a lot of personal experiences for me to just refactor what my outlook actually is. I used to say, as long as I have my legs, I'll be fine. But now I get 2 bad knees from skateboarding. So I gotta refactor again. As long as I can wiggle my toes, I'll be fine. Okay, so let's do... Because the Sahara is a region of a continent, it's not a country. And the Eastern Atlantic is a geographical region. Maybe we go geography. Geographic. Let's do geography. Generic. Atlantic, Eastern Atlantic. Pacific. Let's go. Saharan. That's how you spell it, right? S-A-H-A-R-A-N, S-A-H-A, yep, correct. This song a little much, I'm gonna change this song. Right. Charging enhances batteries. I'll put that on our tech, I guess. Tech generic. Charging. Let's go charging times. Untap skilled pragmatists. Well, I'm a skilled pragmatist. How about you tap me? I'm extremely pragmatic. Okay, Chakra UI. What is this? Developers. Oops. Programming. Developer and developers, these could be found elsewhere, but we'll just put them over here because most of the news is going to be technical anyway, so why not? Alright, let's run them again. Let's see what we scrounged out. This is analyzing every post in the database right now, which is a few thousand. So how about we... Ooh, we gotta get rid of that. Boop. Yeah, that was credentials. Probably shouldn't be showing that on live stream. Alright, we're done. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter, it's just temporary. With tags, without tags. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm just counting the tags, or counting the entries with tags and without. When I hit 50%, I'll be reasonably happy. Wait a minute. Ugh. I can't use that because the method doesn't allow such things. I would have to pass in and out a variable that kept track of the counters, and I'd rather just, because I'm using this temporarily, I'd rather just do this. I'll just use a simple counter. This is just a just-in-time initializer. Okay. So if they're not set, they're automatically initialized to 0, which is good. Maybe the incrementation here. This. Now where would I put the danger zone? I was hoping that wasn't credentials. Hey, I know this. It's from Chrono Trigger. I played this game when I was a kid. So this should display the count at the end now. Hey, we more than 50%. Amazing. Okay, so with tags, 2,123. Without tags, 1,468. That's fantastic. Amazing. Okay. Alright, I think that's grounds for a little break. Well, I'm looking at something right now. I want to make sure our chat works. Let me see this. Hey, it works. OBS is kind of amazing software. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a quick break. Enjoy the music. Okay, we back. Oh boy, there's a pie in the fridge. I want to eat that bogo. Stay on my diet though. I need some string cheese instead. I'll turn the mic off again so I can eat this. Okay, that was delicious. I love string cheese. I don't trust a person that doesn't like string cheese. Maybe they're lactose intolerant. I could get behind it, but man, that's a bit of hyperbole. It's not the best food in the world, but if it's in the fridge, it gets eaten. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna get back to this. So the thing we gotta do next, now that over half of them are getting tags, so over about 4,000 entries in our database right now, we gotta use the correlation between the site and the potential tags generated in order to actually tag the articles. So that's gonna be a little complicated, but should be fun. Should be reasonable. Okay, let's do it. Alright, so title analyzer. So I have URL in title analyzer, which is a different. So similar to the other tool you were looking at, this does the domains. So I have thousands and thousands of domains, a lot of which I did by hand in order to identify the likelihood of, if something's automotive, or if it's an award site, or if it's military, or it's a government domain, etc., etc. Alright, so hey, I already listened to this song. Next one. Ooh, that comfy 90s synth. I hope the audio is synced up from those devices. If not, it would sound stupid. More stupid than I can imagine. Alright. So look up article set from custom aggregate query. So that generates the test data. So the title analyzer must fix this thing. Get rid of these first. Don't need these. We're gonna return this as data. So this will just return us back the title, tokenized title, and the tag. So return data. Get rid of this. I like writing comments. Even I rate comments, like a lot of people tell you not to write comments, is because it gives me the opportunity to think twice about something. Once using my programmer brain, and the other part using the linguistical processing part of my brain. So as I write out the comment, after reading the bit of code that I'm commenting, I'm thinking logically in both ways. Okay, so we simply utilize. Alright, set set up boolean toggle. Tag set. That makes sense. this is an interesting method I wrote that allows you to deep search through objects, utilizing either string matching or regular expression matching on strings. And why this is so useful is that it allows you to both search and modify any object. So if you have a JavaScript object, you can just immediately search through it and generate alternative complex data sets. This one is interesting too. This is another utility method. They're both overrides of the object prototype. Well, not overrides, but they're both methods within the object prototype. And this one allows you to use an array that contains a path within an object. So you could be like, you know, position 1, position 2, position 3, and it would index into the object those paths. Unless you set values there. So I generated these for security tools that I worked on previously. Fuzzers and analyzers and such, but I found them to be so useful that I just have them as projects, what do you call them? Primitives? Project primitives. Alright, this can go bye-bye, and this can go bye-bye too. When I say normalizing a string, I just mean like I have a definition for normalized with regards to strings, and it's just basically all special characters stripped out, all spaces stripped out, except for single spaces, and everything converted to lowercase, and that allows me to do searching much faster. Alright, so potential tags, useful. So this will contain a set of potential taggable identifiers associated with a parsed and tokenized type. I don't know if I should make this method database enabled. Like, I'm passing in a database and a database in here. Because I'm doing everything from text files, I don't know if I should be actually database enabling them. Like, for the domains, it's much smoother to have domains. I'm sorry, to have database entries. I should probably database enable this, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that in the future. I'm just going to leave this here. I'll make a little to-do. Store the keyword data object in the database after generation. Yeah. I think what I'm gonna do for this whole thing, or this whole streaming thing, I'm gonna write a little bit of JavaScript, like a user script or something, to automatically hide the number of people viewing the channel. That way I'll only interact with chat if chat is here. I mean, there's nobody here right now. There's literally zero. But if I do that, I think it could become a neurotic thing, like having to look up and see if there's anybody watching. Because right now I'm just talking to myself, which is strange, very strange feeling, but it's necessary in order to actually make this thing somewhat watchable. And for practice purposes. Oh, that was my chair. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this over and over and over every night in order to practice and become capable at this task. This right here is the equivalent of the first time I ever played guitar. I'm sure it's not that entertaining or worth watching, but I'll keep doing it and I'll get better at it. You know, I'll figure out, just like I figure out everything else. Okay. So now this goes way over here. Let me just close those actually. I have my database configurations up because I have to make changes to the web servers and everything, but I don't want to accidentally put those on stream. Hopefully I haven't done that already. Doesn't matter anyway, all the servers are all firewalled off, so you wouldn't be able to log into them, but it would be embarrassing nonetheless to have my long database passwords just on the screen. I guess I'll get rid of this. This song is kind of a jam, not gonna lie. Alright, test data set length. Okay. So we need the link, the title, the tokenized title, and the parsed URL. I gotta add the class methods up to the top. I use some dependency injection so that I don't have to keep requiring things over and over and over. Excuse me. Title analyze your database. Okay, good. That should be good. Create a new title analyzer DB. This right here is the class that we were just working on in order to do the title analysis. That's the database, right? Nope. This is the database. So when we generate the test data, I should just pass the whole article through. Yeah, an article in this context is an entry in the database. So when users submit articles, let me see if I can bring it up. Let's expand this. Make sure there's nothing sensitive here. Probably is. Who cares? But yeah, and then in the database you can see that we have an article ID and you have the title tokenized and descriptions and the links and stuff and the user ratings and the URL parsed out and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, look. There's the user ID in the section. Congratulations, you got some insight. These are just test users anyway. Doesn't matter, can't log in with it. Oh wait, no, that was auto, that was the bot. Oh, congratulations, you now have the bot's ID. OPSEC, OPSEC, OPSEC. Doesn't matter, I'll just remake that user after. Okay. So, testdata.article. Okay, so we gather the article, and it should just be article.title, domain analysis lookup results. Should be this. Okay, oops, oops. Oops. Let's check the article. Okay, so it should be article.title, that's correct. Tokenized title is article.tokenized.title. Take a look again, see what that error was. Oh, I didn't load the keyword data, that's right, okay. You're wondering why I keep moving the mouse off the screen. It's because I have three monitors on this box. So where do I load? Oh. think I'm going to have to do the database part first. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Okay, so I made these to be to-dos. I don't think that's wise. I think I'll just get it done now. Because if not, I'll have to, in the other file, when I'm trying to correlate the data, I'll have to regenerate the keyword set, and it's not reasonable. So... So a tip if you're writing a lot of JavaScript, don't ever use this. Always create a reference to this with an alternate name. That way you won't wind up in this confusion. Another tip is to not provide individual variables, but instead to always pass in an object, and that allows you to easily change semantics of a method, and it also makes development a lot easier because whenever you see a method invoked, you'll always be able to know exactly what each parameter is. Like, for example, we can take a look at, let's see if there's an example over here. Yeah, here, look up domains. So you can see that this parameter is the database, this is the database name, these are the domains, this is the found callback. You never have to worry about, if I just passed in an async function, it would just be async function something, and what the hell does that do? If it was just an array, well, what does that do? Like, it's an array, okay, it's got domain and subdomain, but what if these are named differently, or they're named incorrectly? Like, with this, you can easily see what everything is supposed to be. You can also add parameters, and the function will still, or the method will still behave as expected. It's just future-proofing and code simplifying. A lot of people don't agree with me on that, and I don't care. It's so useful. It has saved me so much time. Okay. I'm just going to copy all of this. Probably not. See, with the domains, I have to do a bulk write, and I do upserts. Is that really necessary here? Yeah, it won't hurt. I don't think I need to add indexes to this, except for like the name of the keyword set. And maybe an ID. I probably don't need an ID, I probably just need a name. Yeah, that's a good idea. So this and this are going to have to be instantiated much further up. Not much further up, but further up. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be taking the generated keyword set that we were working on previously, and we're going to be dumping it directly into the database, so we can look them up. Look them up easy peasy. And we want it to be in a different database, in the Euro Analyzer database. Probably going to rename that database, but whatever. Yummy Sprite. It's a diet Sprite, don't judge me. This is another useful thing, you can destructure parameters. So, well, you can destructure any object, but I utilize it in my methods to gather parameters. So this is what we just passed in the database name, set name, keyword set. It's just easy to get the parameters this way. Database handle, unique indexes, set. So we're creating a new collection here. We're going to call it keyword sets. We don't have any non-unique indexes here. We don't need to index this. We're just going to pull it all at once whenever we need it. I'm utilizing MongoDB as my database simply because I've just had it with SQL. I have written so much SQL in my life. I have created my own object relational management solutions to string together SQL. I have written God knows how many stored procedures. MongoDB is for a developer. perhaps the best thing since sliced bread. Just because of how quickly it allows you to insert structured data and retrieve structured data. With SQL, it's spreadsheets. It's just endless spreadsheets. And to create structure from spreadsheets, I mean, it's very doable, and the world seems to just be on board with that. But it's so much more comfortable to use structured data when you're inserting information into the database. And I know ORMs exist, and they can be utilized to insert structured data, but not schemaless structured data. Not like MongoDB. And I'm sure there's some nerd out there that's going to hear this much later. Say, "Well, yeah, you can do it." No, never again. Not unless I have to. Did you guys know that MongoDB is web scale? That's not why I'm using it, by the way. Okay, so I don't need to do any of this. But I do need to do this. So the filter is going to be put name. Set. Update set. And that should work. I'm using this query stack and bulk rate. In the future, I'll probably have many keyword sets that I'm generating and storing, and this will just make it so much easier to add them. I'll just write a little loop like that, like I just removed here. I don't need it right now, but in the future, probably want to have it like this. An upsert, if you didn't know, it's a database terminology, and what it is it's an insert or an update if the insert fails. So we have a duplicate key up here set on set name. So if I name the keyword set, I don't know, farts, if I try to run this again, instead of inserting a new keyword set with the name farts, probably should have picked a better name than that. Well, whatever. It'll just update that particular keyword set with the new data. So it's an insert and an update. The reason that you want to use upserts is so that your code isn't verbose. I don't know if verbose is the right word. But so you don't have just a whole bunch of, you don't have to write an update method and an insert method and then a whole bunch of logic that automatically separates the two and makes determinations. It's much better to just use an upsert. Okay, so don't need this. Oh, and these, we're not actually creating unique indexes every single time. They're flags set internally that only create the index once. So although it looks like we're looping here, we're really not. We're just looping once and checking if the index is already set. Okay. we're good here. This should work. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Title analyzer DB, add keywords set DB. Alright. Bada bing. Ah. Cannot access loaded keywords before initialization. Oh, you know what? I gotta go do something. I'll be right back. Okay, we back. I had to use the bathroom and say goodnight to the family. That's very important to do that. You gotta be able to, you know, tell the people that is important to you that they're important. Alright, now, what the hell? Cannot access loaded keywords before initialization. 1.9. Oh, yes. So this has to go down further. Where'd it go? Duh. Now it should work. And it did not work. Created the collection and the indexes, but it didn't insert the data. Let's take a look. Oh, duh. No, that should work. And that did not work. What did I do? Set name and keywords. Oh, I'm a stupid idiot. I was writing it for the wrong collection. Neither will fix up that collection. Yep, and now you can see. After that, it inserted into the keyword sets over here. So now you can see all the different things. So politicians, that's what we were working on earlier, payment processors. Yeah, so now this is stored in the database. This is what I mean about MongoDB. It's such a convenient thing to have. It took me, what, 10 minutes in order to prepare the code and then just have this automatically stored. Very easy. Now I can just pull this out whenever I want. And that's the next method I gotta write. Let's do that. Again, and then let's just get the lookup query. Okay, so this is the equivalent of like a SQL select statement. So we're just going to pull from the keyword sets, matching the set name, and then we're going to return these these members from the stored object. So we're just going to get the set name and the keyword set. Okay, I'm also using an aggregate here. I like using cursors for things that aren't bulk. We should only ever pull one record, but it doesn't really matter. This is an internal tool. It's not a production tool. Okay, so let's try this. Just move this to the side. Okay, so this is gonna look up from the database using the set name, tag keywords, and this is when I find a record in the database, there's only gonna be one record. But this is a callback that will execute. When this callback executes within the parameter structure, there's an item named record. This is gonna be the record it found. So I'm gonna assign this record to the looked up keyword data variable here. And then I'm just going to print it out to the screen after. It's real simple. I like using found callbacks with cursors because it makes it much easier to work with. It also reduces memory. Like if you don't use cursors and you just return everything back at the same time, well, what if there's a large amount of data you need to pull back? I mean, in this example, it doesn't matter simply because of the fact that the keyword data is under 16 megabytes. And it's only a single record. But if I had many records to pull, like let's say I wanted to pull like 18 million records from the database, it would just be stupid to try to store all that in memory. It'd be better to just iterate with a cursor. Alright, so this should work. Let's pray. Hey, our prayers were answered. Okay. So what I need to do now is take the keyword set and pass it into the title analyzer. My chair out of. I don't think you can hear him squeaking. I gotta move him around. It's an old chair. So now we gotta go back to the title analyzer. Add a new parameter. And then we're gonna use this instead. Should be good. Now I can remove the keyword set from the constructor or from this constructor. I was just setting it in the constructor before to make it easy, but I have plans to remove it, which is what we're doing here. now we should be able to just do this. Okay. Yep, works great. Okay, so the reason we did that is because now we can look up the keyword data here. So and instead of having to process it, we can just use it directly. Title. And now when we run the URL and title analyzer, it should just dump it out here instead of giving us problems like it was giving us before. Analyze title result. What line is that? 1040. Anger, Poland, media broadcasting, yes. It works. Joy of joys. Oh, bruh. It's a winner. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, what we gotta do, It's weird over here. Like in Hawaii, we get kind of like two voices. Like we get the one we gotta use in school, and then we get the one we use at home. So we sound like this at home, but in school we talk about the custom utilities and the analyzed title result and the analyzed, or the article tokenized title, and real weird. When I say thinking, this is how I sound. When I'm academic, I sound that way. Very strange. I don't know. I think a lot of cultures get that. Ooh, Diet Cherry Pepsi. Oh, listen to the sound out here one more. Commercialized garbage really hits the really hits the palate. Okay, so now we gotta do the next thing. Oh boy. So we gotta do the lookup results. So we will do this. We gotta do both the domain analysis and the title analysis. We do both of those, and we're looking good, boy. Looking good, boy. Okay. So Notes from Poland is a news site. Okay, good. We got media broadcasting, and we got the country Poland. We got emotions. We got anger. Okay, so we can take this information here. Actually, instead of, we're just gonna do a notice here, so I can dump a lot of them. Yeah, is news, artificial intelligence. That's so freaking cool. This is why we do it. This is why we do it right here, because he's cool. He's cool, boys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, is news found tags. We'll refine them later. Alright, just looking at this one, no more the tags. But we know it's news because it's from AP News. Although I have a hard time calling it news. A lot of these things are kind of like Wikipedia. Whatever is politicized is politicized. But things that aren't politicized aren't politicized. So anything that isn't politicized, you can kind of get a little bit out of it. That's another thing, kind of like the legal thing we were talking about earlier. Like how you got laws that are just created endlessly. Like you have news that is churned endlessly. And it's Darwinian. Like in any society where wealth is generated, you're gonna have winners and losers, and whenever you have winners and losers, you're gonna have some level of Darwinian effect. So a lot of these news agencies, they start off wanting to be, you know, well, I don't even know if they start off wanting to be ethical, but it's not Darwinian to be ethical. I mean, maybe it is in some circumstances, but more or less, it's eat your neighbor. Like, if you can get away with eating your neighbor, life feeds on life. So, a lot of these news agencies, they eat, but what do they eat? They eat our attention. And how do they get our attention? Well, there's a whole bunch of Darwinian strategies that assist them, and one of them is just producing, you know, genuine news, because that's entertaining. But there's a whole lot of calories in lying. Like, if you can sensationalize, which I'm gonna just say it's a form of lying, any disingenuous practice really comes down to deceit. And so they'll sensationalize things, and it's because the world has become extremes. Like things aren't good, they're great. Things aren't alright, they're amazing. Things aren't bad, they're terrible. And it's, again, it's another symptom of Darwinian extremism. What was it? What's that term? Not evolutionary adaptation. I forget what. Well, I can't fault these news agencies for wanting to capitalize on our interest, but I can fault them for doing it disingenuously. But then again, if they didn't, they wouldn't survive. So what's the point of an organism that doesn't survive? And these are organizational organisms. Yeah, I don't like it though. It's icky. But this is an example of the organism producing something that is somewhat useful. Okay, so how the hell am I gonna do this? So I think I have a tag generator class, but I think it's not filled out. Article tag generator. Yep, it's not filled out at all. Okay, so we have to get this from our dependency injection. And that's within our utility. utility classes, so that should be available. Ugh, come on. Wait, what? You guys saw that, right? It tried to autocomplete. Kinda sleepy. Gotta keep working, gotta keep working. So the article tag generator is going to be a parent class to the URL analyzer and the title analyzer. So I just injected the dependency here, and I added these to the constructor, so we should only ever have to create one of them. One each. Right now they're separate because, well, they didn't exist and I had to create them. So now that they exist, we can use them, which is great. Fantastic. See? Hey, look at that. But I just said it was good. I said it was fantastic. I am Darwinian. Alright, generate tag set. So let's go back there. I'm just gonna comment out all this old code. I wrote this maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And this is where the headache started. Because I realized to generate tags, well, first, you invent the universe. Then, within the universe, you declare matter, and then once you've declared matter, you start organizing the matter until you get here. I'm sorry short, I had to go through and figure out how the hell to do this. And it required a significant amount of thinking. That's okay. I like thinking. Couldn't imagine a life where you didn't have to think. What a nightmare that would be. Sometimes I'm envious of thoughtlessness. And what I mean by that is, there are some things, people as well, but I don't really want to, you know, it's pretty offensive to say some people just don't think. But, like, for example, there's a cat. Like, I take my nieces and my nephew out to go run around and skateboard and ride bikes and stuff every day, well, every school day, or every non-rainy day. And there's a cat, and it's just a cat. Like, it's not contemplating too much. It just sits on the wall when we come out because it knows we're out there and it wants to hang out with the kids. So it, like, you can tell the only thing in its head is cat. I'm a cat. I'm gonna scratch this thing. It's not musing about the perpetual cycle of lawmaking. It's not thinking about the Darwinian effect of business on all businesses, and the news business in particular. It's just thinking I'm a cat, and I don't know if the purity in that is to be envied, but sometimes I can't help but think, wow, what a absolutely phenomenal effect that would have on me personally. Because if you were the cat, you wouldn't be postulating upon how negative or positive it is to be a cat. You'd just be thinking cat. You'd be thinking cat. I'm gonna do the cat thing. And there's elegance in what they do. I mean, not just cats, but in thoughtlessness. Like the cat, although it's thoughtless, and I don't mean that detrimentally, I mean that cats are just cats. But there's an elegance in it. Same with all animals. And I don't know if it's automata, but it's like elevated automata. I could see enjoying that. But we are not that thing, so, you know. Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta be what you gotta be. Okay, so we gotta have domains. And then we gotta have... wait a minute. Oh, we just need article. All I'm doing is I'm filling out the parameters for the tag set generator. Yeah, tag set generator. I always set a self-reference at the top of methods regardless of whether or not I use them. It just adds the code clarity, and later on down the line, a lot of times I do need it, so I'll utilize it. Won't have to redeclare it or worry about the syntax. Okay, so I'm moving this back over. So within test data, we should have article. Yep. Move this back up to the top. We'll just add a continue statement here to not worry about the rest of the loop. All this loop does is it goes over every single element in the test data. The test data was generated through an article search. So we're just getting everything. Since this is an aggregate query with nothing in it, it just pulls every single article in the database. So the test data is actually every single article in the database. I should probably modify that to use a cursor, or a cursor style rather than just loading it all in the memory. But for right now, we're going to just use a for loop. Okay. Tag generator dot. Want to define things too. It's a little bit of a waste of white space, but I like everything lined up because then you can read them row column style. If you're wondering how to do that, it's just Alt A. I just select it and Alt A and it'll automatically line things up. Can't remember if I had to install a plugin for that or not. I think I did. Maybe I did, I don't remember. Okay, so now we have to move all of this logic over into the generate tag set method. So we're going to use set name for keyword set name. Oh, we'll do keyword. Keyword set name. So that's going to be pulled from the database. So the keyword set name in this case is tag keywords. Okay, and so the article is going to be article. And that should give all the information we need in order to generate the tags. Oh man, what song is this? This is good. I swear I've heard that song before. Generated tag set. Perform URL analysis first. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here is I'm moving this code over. I'm modifying it a little bit where it needs to be. From the article parsed URL, I'm getting the host name and the host without subdomains. We're gonna be just taking everything in here and moving it over. So you know what? I can probably just move this to the other window. And since I'm gonna be coding in this one, I'll leave this one here so you guys can look at it if you feel free. If you feel free. If you feel like you cost something. If you feel like you're expensive. Alright. So next one we're gonna do this. URL analyzer DB. A lot of my comments are self-obvious, but again, the reason I do it is for the process. Being able to think twice is always a useful thing. Well, why don't you just think twice then? Why don't you shut up? I like my comments. They have a nice green to my code. And green is the color of grass. Thought I was gonna say money, didn't you? title next. I also use these big blocks here. The reason I use these big comment blocks is because when you're revisiting code after not looking at it for like 8-9 months, you're gonna wanna just scroll down, and every time you see one of these big blocks you can just look at and say, okay, this is the general thing. Okay, perform URL analysis. Okay, cool. Perform title analysis. Okay, cool. I'm in the right place. If you just use small comments, you'll get lost in the weeds. Okay, so look up keyword data, keyword set. Okay, so we gotta look up the keyword set first. Bada bing. That should work. That should work. Now we gotta change the DB since we're passing them in. Yep, that should be good. Let's test it here. Segmentation fault, core dumped. Yep. Article tag generator. Title analyzer DB is not a constructor, but it ought to be. Yeah, what happened was I have a module that exports everything and I just had the wrong name there, so that's fine. So this should work now. Segmentation fault core dump. Yeah. No, this should work. Why is it not working? Title analysis within the depths. Dependencies. Internal. Oh. Duh. I don't know how that happened. Oh, is this Castlevania music? This sounds like Castlevania. Bada bing! She worked. Oh, you know what? Might be smarter. To look it up beforehand. What's that a keyword set name of the keyword set? add a loader. What we're going to do here is we're going to add basically a loader or initializer that allows us to preload keyword sets. Because if not, every time we run generate tag set, it'll pull the database and gather that tag set again. So instead we'll just create an object here for tag sets. Okay, that's descriptive enough. Also, I don't use JS-doc comments. That is probably considered heresy by a lot of people. The reason I don't do it is because it takes a pain. It takes a long time to do. Not only that, this is gonna sound stupid, but I have documentation generators anyway. I have classes that automatically inject into every single method and generate documentation on the fly. Like I wrote it years ago, and it's so much easier because it generates by usage. So the documentation can generate information with usage examples. It's just a me thing because I have this tool. I use it. Other people probably should use JS-doc comments. Okay, return true. You invent the universe, you can make the rules. That's a little bit of hubris for you there. Okay, so we go down here, look up keyword. Hold on, I'm looking at something. Oh, not tag sets. Oh, keyword set. It's late over here, it's 2 in the morning. I usually do my work at night, and the reason I do my work at night is because it's the quietest. It's the most serene. Gives me the ability to focus without interruption. My family don't really understand that it requires a lot of focus to do this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sure they understand it. I'm not gonna say they don't understand it, but they don't understand it. Like if you get sidetracked, if I have to go do homework with the kids, and I'm thinking about times tables or whatever drama is happening in their school today, it's gonna throw me off. I'm not gonna be able to just automatically sit down and start talking about keyword sets pulled from a Mongo database. So yeah, early morning is generally when I work. The problem is that it looks like I'm a degenerate because I wake up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon before the kids come home so that I can do homework with them. But I've slept all morning. But what they don't understand is I'm sitting here punching these keys constantly until like 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, let's see. Backup keyword set from database. Oh, my brain kind of mushy already. Okay, so let's go keyword sets. Boop, boop, up and down, up and down, up and down. Keyword sets. Structure parameters. Come on. If you don't know what the question mark dot is, it's called optional chaining. And it's so very, very, very useful. It allows you to basically index into an object that may or may not be able to be indexed into. So if this was null, this wouldn't cause an exception. But if this is null, well, it won't cause an exception either. I'd be able to see that this or this is empty. So this reduces what would be otherwise 4 or 5 lines of code into just 1 line of code. Highly recommend, well, if you know what you're doing, I highly recommend using these. Okay, so if they're present, we can just assign it. And then we're done, I think. Come back over here. What was the name of the keyword set? Tag keywords. So now this will load the keyword set. So every time we run our analysis, we don't have to look it up again. Preload. Preload. Alright, so setting correct. I think that's correct. What is it? Keyword sets. There we go. This shouldn't be necessary anymore. Hold on, I'm looking at something. Okay. Don't need this. One second. So we'll look up domains, don't need that. Title analysis, don't need that. Alright. I'm just cleaning up a little bit of that old code so that commenting won't cause any error in the program. I think we're good. My brain is telling me we're not, but my gut is telling me that we might be, so we're gonna run it. Ah, my brain was right. Oh, because I'm using optional chaining for that. Yeah. Use it when you know what you're doing with it. Correct. Yeah, that's abomination. Alright. DB, article tag generator. Oh. Duh. Wait a minute. Where'd I go? Of course, forgot the database. Again. Hey, and it worked. Ah, very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. What time is it right now? 2:27. Display both of them this time. Both the domain analysis and the title analysis. So now what I have to do is I have to go through the database, investigate all potential categorical tagging, and associate it with internal tags. So these categories, like is it news, is it tech, is it that kind of thing, I need to go through, don't hit the microphone, I need to go through the entire database and pull all these potentials. And the reason I got to do that is because the tool itself will grow in the future, so I can't rely on static data. I'll have to use dynamic parsing of database records to generate all the different categories that are potential. So that sounds hard, but it's really not that hard. Once I have that, I need to associate them with, like I said, internal tags like the news tag or the tech tag or whatever. Then when I got that, I need to go through these found tags and also cross-reference them with the tags that are here. So I think I can do that, but I don't think I'm going to do that tonight. I think I'll do that tomorrow. I'm already pretty tired. It took me a while to get this streaming setup set up. But yeah, that was a good amount of work. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to end the stream here. This is my first stream ever. I had a whole 0 people watch. Haha! Pretty cool. At least I don't gotta have any anxiety about performing. That's pretty great. But yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow. Goodbye.